Hey, it's Bernadette, your clairvoyant transformational mentor. All right, lots going on today. So I've been all over the place in Messenger and groups and doing work, and oh my God. So I thought I would jump on um, rather than doing this one at a time. I'll just do it in one place and hopefully get you guys unstuck and help you recognize what's happening. Lot of people struggling today with their ego. Lots of people struggling today with all kinds of stuff that you don't need to be struggling with. Hi, Brooke. How are ya? All right. So say hello if you're watching this. I wasn't going to come on because I have a sty in my eye and I can't put my contacts on, and the glare drives me crazy on the screen. So, yeah. Hi, Sandy. All right, who else is here? Like and share this video. I just put up a post, a funny little post. Hi, Laura, about shifting and changing your life. So it should be under this one if you're on Facebook. Okay. So what's happening today, everybody? I'm getting messages upon messages from people that are like, I feel so defeated today. And I mean, this is me. This is me with everybody's ego stories and programs, batting them every which way I turn on Messenger and in my groups and people that I've been talking to today. It seems like the ego programs are running high. So where are you at today? What's going on for you today? How are you feeling today? The title of this post today was, What's Your Story? Because what I see happening left and right is y'all are telling stories. I don't know if you are in particular, but the people I've been talking to, ego is loud and proud today and telling all kinds of negative, limiting, crappy stories and getting full on into it and justifying why you need to be focused on these negative stories. Hi, Law. So is that happening for you today? Anybody? If it's not, I'll jump off. You don't need my help. Cool. Oh my God, very loud today. All right. So breathe. Your head hurts. So use your tools, Brenda. You are in Charm Life. I've given you guys a ton of tools. Hi, Camille. And I get that for whatever reason, and it probably will amplify through the end of the month, beginning of November, this energy where, you have a choice. And all it says to me, all this ego stuff that I've been helping everybody sort of shift through today, all it tells me is mass consciousness, the majority of people who are unconscious, are getting wrapped into lower vibe freaking thinking and limitations and fears, and then wrapping a story around it and then justifying why that story is so important and demands your full 100% attention. Meanwhile, Bernadette is here in Messenger and in her groups going, stop it, ego, like flies, batting flies constantly. That's why I'm here on live today. I was not planning to do one. I'm okay, but yesterday I had a 2-hour jacuzzi and rest rejuvenation with spirit. Good. So look, this isn't to make fun of you, although it's probably, I probably am making fun of your ego because your ego is really like plugged into the wrong place. Stories are just that. They're stories. And for whatever reason, people are telling really negative, like horrific horror stories. Is it because we're so close to Halloween that get the fly flopper out? I know, it's crazy. Is it because we're near Halloween and everybody's getting into the horror and the drama of Halloween and you're wearing your masks of distress? Is that what's happening? If it is, get out of it. Get out of it. If you need help with that, go to my website. The link is in the description. I will take calls. You just need to talk to me. If you've never talked to me before, we need to jump on a message thread. You can even Facebook message me for the moment on my website. That probably is going to go away soon because I don't like Facebook messages on my. I turn off my notifications, so a lot of times I don't get them, but I do get email. So for now, though, you can message me on there. So let's talk about this. There's a spiral. Hi, Lillian. There's a spiral of energy that happens, and you have a choice, right? You can go in the downward spiral and tell these really crappy stories. I'm trying to watch my mouth. Tell these really crappy stories about limitation and how everything's just horrible, and oh my God, and this person did that, and this person did that, and now my whole reality is disturbed. You can tell that one, but you will downward spiral and circle the drain of energy and feel like you got no choice. Or you can take the upward spiral and take the elevator to the frickin' penthouse, which is where you belong, above all the muck and mire. Take yourself to a higher level energy, stop telling that story, and tell a new story. And I get it's harder at times than others. And right now, the energy's a little tough. I'm not having problems with it. Literally, like I said, got my flyfus water out. I'm literally typing messages into my groups and like deflecting the ego programs that are telling these horrific stories. So shift your filter. Stop looking for what else do I need to complain about, and stop telling the story. Stop adding to it. Stop exaggerating and adding emotion to it and dramatic flair. Like, this movie is your life. And if you don't like what's showing up on the screen of time and space called your life, you need to change the stories you're telling and the things you're focused on. Seriously. And this isn't about, oh, you got to be positive all the time. There are some real things in life that happen that bring us down. But what I'm seeing today has nothing to do with real things. It has everything to do with the ego latching onto whatever the hell it can and telling a really shitty story about it. And that people's energy is just diving and they're feeling deflated, defeated, and overwhelmed. Okay. So think about, what were you thinking right before your energy took a nosedive? And did you take the time for emotional and mental hygiene and set yourself up for a positive day? When things go wrong in my day, seemingly wrong, because I think everything always works out for me. Like, I believe that to the core of my being, and I've experienced it enough times that I trust it, right? Some of you haven't gotten there yet, and I get that. But what you can do literally is reset your day. Take a break, go for a walk, do some deep breathing. If you know how to do EFT, do some EFT tapping, and intentionally decide how this is supposed to be affecting you. If something falls through, something better will replace it. That's how I choose to believe, right? And it always does. If you've got things showing up like anger, anxiety, and overwhelm, that is your body alarm and your emotional alarm saying, stop thinking what you're thinking. You're making yourself sick, stressed, and unhappy. Truly, you can do that. It's your choice. If you want something deeper and you want to shift through this stuff so that you can rise up to the top into the penthouse instead of being street level with all the crap, reach out. Let's get you on that path. Those of you who are in Charm Life and you're wrapping into these stories really quickly, recognize that that's just what's happening. You're plugging into the lower consciousness. And right now there's a lot. I was like looking on Facebook earlier, and I get some news feeds in Facebook. Like 3 news feeds popped up from Seattle and from Texas. And just in those 3 posts, somebody killed themselves, somebody died, and a body was discovered. You guys never report on anything good. Never. Never. So I don't typically pay attention to the news. I do, however, pay attention to the patterns in the news. And the patterns right now are, oh my God, there's a recession. And oh my God, people are dying. And oh my God, there's so much to worry about. If you're not going to equally balance the news with things like, Susie did a really nice favor for Johnny and now everybody's happy, I don't have time to watch you. Balance it out. You know, I love that the news says, oh, balanced reporting. Balance my ass. You only report on the bad stuff. And it serves to keep everybody trapped in the lower vibrations of fear. And in that place, you become a consumer. You become powerless. So put yourself back in the power seat. Get yourself back to the power seat. And if your ego wants to throw up all these fears and, oh my God, ask yourself, what was I focusing on right before my energy took a dive, right before I started feeling anxious and emotional, right before I started to think that I'm powerless? Backtrack and then shift. Focus and shift and tell a new story. Yeah, that thing got my attention, but everything always works out for me. And I just choose not to put any attention over there, because whatever you focus on, you will grow. Negative thoughts are funny. They have babies really quick. They're worse than mice, right? Like literally, when you focus on your negative thoughts, they just have babies, and more negative thoughts. Equally, however, the more you focus on positive thoughts, and you gear yourself in that way, what else is possible here? And you start to really examine, why am I feeling like this? Do I want to be feeling like this? I don't want to be feeling like this. So what can I focus on instead? What's going right now? What am I grateful for in my life right now? Then that will have babies. Met a friend I haven't seen in 12 years. Bernadette is live with teaching. So that's a sign for me. I'm in good flow. Oh, cool. Yay. Excited for you. Is that making sense, y'all? And does it help? Because like I said, if it doesn't, y'all don't need my help. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing for the day, which, I'm writing all kinds of emails and stuff and having fun that way and working with clients. But I interrupted my day partially because my fly swatter is falling apart, and all the swatting of the egos, like it's all wobbly. It's not mine. It's my dad's. We need a new one, I think. I think we've been killing too many flies. But literally, it's my fun time when someone comes up with some new ego program and they're like, wow, this is happening, and oh my God, help. Down, ego, down. Stop it. Man, so easy to get lost in it, but it's just as easy to get out of it when you recognize that's what's happening. Y'all like to focus on negative shit. You've been programmed so well to focus on problems, right? That's what school taught us. You went to how many years of elementary, middle, and senior high school, and then some of you college, to learn how to focus on problems. You're well trained. You need to unlearn that programming, and you need to let it go and start filtering for what's going right. Where is your power? Because my God, I'm so glad I didn't go to college. Like seriously. Oh God, it's too much. Like life's too short and way too important to be spending your time focused on horror flicks in your head that aren't even real. They're not even real. They're not even happening. It's all based on your own perception of what you think is happening. And typically it's not what you think is happening, and you're just judging something as bad and negative and adding to it. And like I said, you're adding all of this emotional content behind it when you really don't need to. If you would just let it go and think, all right, things are working out for me. What's this about? Do it from a place of curiosity. You won't feel so knocked over. Glad it wasn't my ego this time. She's on time out. Yeah. Put your ego on time out. Soothe your inner child. Let your inner child know, like, yeah, I get it. It's a horror film. Close your eyes, sweetheart. Close your ears. You don't need to pay attention to that. Let's go watch cartoons. Let's go dance to some fun music. Let's go take a walk. So many other things you could be doing with your time and attention rather than giving it to things that are horrific and aren't even real. All right? So get back on that horse and keep riding. Like, one of the things you can do is, if you're stuck in your head circling around, go outside and go for a damn walk. I don't care how cold it is. Put a jacket on. Go for a walk. Why? Because if you're sitting in it and your head is spinning around and the scenes are playing out in your mind's eye and you're imagining worst case scenario, you're not helping yourself. If you walk, all of a sudden your ego, which is there to protect you from danger and keep you from dying, will kick in and keep you from tripping and keep you from dangers of dogs and traffic and everything else, which means it gets quiet. It gets really quiet, which allows you then the ability to grab control and refocus really quickly, right? Right. So go do that. Okay. And just know mass consciousness and that thought stream, that energy, and it is a thought stream that most people are plugging into, right? That lower level thought stream is very focused on things that are scary and things that might happen. And oh my God, you should avoid this and you should avoid that. And it's not safe out there. And it's not, again, real. It's not real. Stop playing there. And if you need a reminder of how not real it is, go watch The Matrix again. The minute Neo realized at the very last part of The Matrix that everything that was happening, the bullets were flying at him, was not real, he was able to make the bullets stop, freeze in midair, and drop. And the bad guys disappear. And that's all you have to do. Refocus. Hi, Leah. All right. Recognize this isn't playing out real. If you got real stuff going on, I'm imagining you're not watching the stream right now. Like you got real stuff going on, like someone's got a holding you hostage or whatever. You're not watching this stream. Like that's real danger, right? That's not perceived. It's real. You're in physical danger. If you're getting beat up right now, you're not watching this stream. That's real danger. This other stuff is the stories you're telling yourself. And the ego is grabbing and going, oh my God, let me have control of your mind. And you're willingly handing it over. And then you're contacting me. I gotta get my fly swatter out and bat your ego away. It's insanity. So stop. Stop telling stories. Stop getting wrapped in. Other people want to do drama. Fine. Not your circus, not your monkeys. All of you stop. Unplug. Plug into the higher stream of consciousness, which is unconditional love and acceptance, bliss, peace, power, control, and choice. Free will choice. You get to choose what you focus on. Your energy is so powerful. Thank you, Brooke. So that is the message for the day, for the week. I'm not going to be back on live stream until I don't know when. I only came on today because it was like I was typing out all these messages and I'm like, man, let me just handle this one time, do it live. So much easier for me. And for those of you who did not message me or not in my groups and not in Charm Life, you'll get to benefit from all the peoples that have been messaging me. So if you're sitting there behind your computer screen or your mobile device and you're like, shoot, am I telling a story? Or your ego's flaring up right now and thinking, yeah, but she doesn't know what's going on with me. Mine is real. If you're there and you're justifying the nightmare that you're weaving, look around you right now. Where are you? What's in front of you? What's happening in this moment? And if you're watching this live stream, I guarantee you 100%, the story you're telling right now that things are so bleak and horrible and you have no power and you're such a victim and oh my God, isn't true. Why? Because you have the time to watch this live stream, which means you're not in any real danger. And you need to learn to laugh at the ridiculousness of your ego to weave horrific, emotionally charged stories. Go write a new story today. Go live a new story today. You can shift it right now. You just have to choose. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go play for a little bit. I have to go winterize my pool, which means I have to vacuum it, put chemicals in it, circulate the water, and then we have to drain half of it out because it's an above ground pool. Cover it, shrink wrap it, disconnect the filter and the pump and all the hoses and call it good. But that also means I don't have to mess with the pool anymore until next season. So we are going to do that today. My garden needs some water. And I'm going to keep taking client calls and step into my weekend with some power and see what fun the universe has waiting for me. You had a lunch date with yourself. I love that. I just had breakfast and it's 12:30 here. A little behind on my schedule, but I normally don't eat until the afternoon. So, helpful? Yes? No? I mean, if you're still watching, must have been helpful. Would you mind hitting the like button? Give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you subscribe and follow to get notifications when I do, in fact, go live. And to stay in tune with whatever little messages Spirit wants to deliver through my obnoxious self. And like Brooke said, I have some serious power. It's the power of source energy flowing through me that I gift the rest of you with when Spirit says, hey, you need to be my voice box right now and shine some light and bring some sparkles of love to Planet Facebook and YouTube. All right, I think that's it. Time to go take care of business and then do some chores. I had my retreat. Then I had Addie's birthday last weekend. This coming week is my daughter's birthday. My dad's birthday is the day after that. And then Halloween. I have to get my chores done so I can actually enjoy life. And then Thanksgiving's coming. Oh my God. All right. You're welcome, Miss Law. So yeah, in the meanwhile, the stories I'm telling in my head is how great it is. How great it is I have a pool to winterize, even though it's just an above ground pool. How great it is that life is well. I got to share this with you. I meant to share this at the beginning and I totally forgot. So I'm not leaving yet. Back it up. Beep, beep, beep. So I'll share an example of what this is all about and how like the ego stuff started yesterday. Yesterday, I love my daughter, Brindy. Brindy lives with me. And she parks in the driveway. I have a very long driveway that can fit like 4 cars in it. But she parks in the first quadrant from the road so that my car in the garage, I can get out and around her and then back in around her. So she's not blocking me into the garage because my dad parks in the garage too. So she parks in the garage and she's been noticing lately there's some sort of weird thing happening on her weather stripping around her sunroof of her almost brand new Honda Accord. She thought it was maybe ants. Then she was thinking birds. And then she started like imagining it must be squirrels trying to break into her sunroof. I'm like, okay, I can't tell what exactly it is, but something's messing up her rubber seal around her sunroof. Well, yesterday she was in a fit of ego unconsciousness and negativity for whatever reason. She had a lot on her mind and she's doing things that she doesn't want to be doing, but she's doing them anyways. I'm her mother. She doesn't listen to me, so that is her gig. But she came running in the house around noon and she's like, oh my God, I think the squirrel's gone in and ate the wires to my automatic trunk now. My trunk doesn't open. Push the button, it's not opening. This is going to cost me thousands of dollars. So now here I am on my phone, Googling like squirrel repellent, like Sonar, Sonic, squirrel repellent, and telling her, well, if it was the squirrels, I'll help you pay for it. Like whatever. Okay. Trying to get her to calm down. Meanwhile, she's on the phone with her husband telling the story of how the squirrels must have eaten the wires in her trunk and her trunk went open. And oh my God, we're going to have to go get our own house right now. Forget about saving money for the down payment to buy our house. We'll just go rent something now. I mean, it was a huge story and it flew her into like Negativeville. Meanwhile, Mom is still searching for Sonar or some sort of spray or something to keep the squirrels away from her car. Because she's been seeing posts on TikTok about how squirrels are eating people's interiors and all this crazy stuff. So she, for some reason, decided to get the book out of her car. Her intuition kicked in and she read that it's possible that somehow somebody pushed the valet lock inside her glove box to lock the trunk down so it couldn't be pushed and open. She played with the button a couple of times and voila, the trunk opened. Oh, the squirrels didn't get in. I just wasted 20 minutes of my life looking for squirrel repellent, and so did your husband. And then afterwards, she goes, I'm sorry, Mom. She goes, I really thought. I'm like, this is the thing, though. Like, there was no proof to be blaming the squirrels for that. Like, there was no proof, but me being mom, want to be helpful. So I went down that road with her briefly, and then I kept saying, well, let me look at your trunk. Let's see if we can pop it open, and let me see if there's actual bite marks. And then she got it popped open. Moral of the story, she went down this 30-minute, holy shit, everything's falling apart. My life sucks. We need a new house. We're not going to be able to buy a house. Why did I move to Texas rant? See where I'm going with this? And she didn't need to. It was that the button for the valet lock was pushed. Someone pushed it. And there was no problem to begin with. And all of that emotional reaction set off this cascade of stuff, because in the meanwhile of all of that happening, and this is a 30-minute time period, literally a 30-minute time period, like she had herself moving out. She had herself never saving a dime. She spilled something, like everything was going wrong during that rant. She calmed down, got control, apologized. Not that I needed an apology. Like, I just watch this stuff and join in whatever I can help to kind of calm it down. But literally, that is what you guys end up doing. And look, that story of Brindy and her trunk, like you could be sitting there going, but that's not me. I'm telling you, it was real to her in her head. It was real. And her emotions were reacting. And in the end, she ended up stubbing her toe or doing something crazy. Like, that's what happens when you get sucked into these stories, imaginary stories in your head, when in reality, there was never a problem to begin with, except that the valet lock was done. I did that briefly for like 5 minutes a couple weeks ago because I didn't know that my car had this weird thing on my car trunk, my Lexus, the back lifts up. It's an SUV. And apparently if you push the button halfway up or down, it literally locks it in place. And I kept trying to open my trunk and it would only open halfway, right? I'm like, keep doing it, keep doing it. I'm like, what in the hell? After 5 minutes, Brindy noticed I was struggling with my trunk and she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, it won't go up and it won't go down. Like, it's stuck right there. What's the problem? And she said, oh, someone must have, and I didn't do it because I don't usually use the button. I usually use my foot. Like, it has a sensor where you stick your foot in, stick your foot out, like hokey pokey. I do the hokey pokey to get my trunk open and closed. Well, other people were in and out of my trunk. And she said, Mom, there's this thing where if you push the button halfway, it locks it in place so it never goes higher than that. I was like, why? Like, what's the purpose of that? Other than to confuse people like me. But we were able to push through that. Like, literally. My passenger door is stuck and won't unlock. Sounds like I need to find another way too. It's so weird. Sometimes, here's what I would do. Oh, this is the thought that just came to me. Sometimes you just need to pull the fuse out and put the fuse back in. Like, turn the car off, pull the fuse, put the fuse back in, turn the car back on. And it magically fixes. Computer systems in cars are very complicated. And it can be an easy fix, like it was with the push the button. I don't remember what we had to do. It was something about hold the button in to get it to unlock and stop that halfway setting. So now that I know, I won't ever go through that again. But I was panicking because I had to go pick something up that my hatch needed to go all the way up. And I'm like, how am I going to get it in my car? Oh my God. And Brindy to the rescue. Because apparently she had the same Lexus as I have before she traded it in and got her Honda. And she's like, no, it happened to me before. She goes, I bet you Nick did it, her husband. So I didn't panic though. Like, I was just frustrated because I'm like, what happened? And I thought, wow, my car's only 2019. Like, is it already breaking? That doesn't make sense. It's a Lexus. It should last forever. But it wasn't a thing. So again, sometimes the simplest of things. I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. Back in the 90s, I had a Nissan Maxima, and the transmission was having issues, and the cylinders, the engine was having issues. So I was living on my boat, and I worked like 8 minutes, right? My boat was 8 minutes from downtown San Diego where I worked. And this one day I got up, turned on the car, and the engine was firing on 2 cylinders. I didn't have time to do anything. I had to get to work. Single mom, no one to call. So I said a prayer, did some energy work on my car, and was like, get me to work. And I don't mean at 30 miles an hour. Get me to work and get these cylinders firing until payday, right? Give me at least 4 cylinders out of 6. Get it to me until I can get this into the shop next week. And started driving, and it was still firing on 2 cylinders. And it was like, floor it. And I was going 20 miles an hour. And I just held the faith, like, look, everything's energy. I'm giving you some extra energy, little cylinders. Do your thing. Kick on until next week when I can get you in the shop. And all of a sudden, the power kicked on in my car the minute I hit the on-ramp of the freeway. And my car stayed like that until the following week, day after payday. And then it went back to 2 cylinders. So, y'all, things like that are possible when you realize everything is operating on energy. And it's up to you not to tell these really horrific bad stories. Take your power back. Want to learn how to do it the way I do it? Come talk to me and we'll get you in line. So, all right. I love you guys. I hope those little stories help put things into perspective. You have the power. Go use it. Use it wisely. May the force be with you. See you guys later.